Life sometimes changes in the blink of an eye. One moment, you are chasing the horizon, laughing with the person who holds your heart, and the next moment, the world turns upside down. That small boat was supposed to be the start of an adventure, a memory to cherish for years. But the ocean had a different plan. The wood splintered, the waves roared like hungry beasts, and in the chaos, everything they knew was swept away. Now, there is nothing left but this jagged, lonely rock surrounded by an endless expanse of indifferent blue. Look at them. Two tiny figures against the massive canvas of the sea. They are huddled together, shivering as the dampness of the ocean air settles into their bones. For years, they walked the same campus, sat in the same lecture halls, and shared the same mundane conversations about exams, future careers, and the weather. They were always so close, yet light years apart, separated by the invisible, suffocating wall of what if and someday. They spent years dancing around the truth, terrified of breaking the comfortable silence of their friendship. Now, those walls have been shattered by the salt and the spray. There are no classrooms here, no professors, no deadlines, no social media to curate their lives. There is only the rhythmic, haunting thud of the waves against the rock and the sound of each other's breathing. It is the most terrifying silence they have ever known. Yet, strangely, it is also the most honest. He looks at her, and for the first time, he isn't looking at the girl he's been afraid to lose as a friend. He is looking at the only person he wants to spend his last moments with. Her hair is matted with salt, her face is pale, and she is trembling, but in her eyes there is a flicker of something that he has been searching for his entire life. It's not just fear, it's a quiet, desperate recognition. He reaches out, his fingers grazing hers. The contact is electric, a jolt of warmth in a world that has turned ice cold. This isn't a casual touch, it is a lifeline, a promise, unspoken but understood, that even if the tide rises and the night claims them, they will not be alone. Do you remember? He whispers, his voice raspy from the salt air. Do you remember the day by the lake? You told me you wanted to see the world. I thought you meant Paris or the mountains or the lights of New York. She leans her head against his shoulder, her eyes fixed on the horizon. I did want to see those places, but sitting here, looking at this endless water, I realized I didn't want to see the world. I just wanted to see it with you. I wanted to see everything through your eyes. The weight of her words hits him harder than the waves hitting the rock. All those years, all those missed opportunities, all those late night texts that were left unsaid, they all seem so trivial now. The vastness of the ocean puts everything into perspective. We spend our lives worrying about what people think, about achieving, about planning for a future that isn't even guaranteed. But out here, staring into the abyss of the sea, the future is just the next breath. As the sun begins to set, the sky transforms into a bruised canvas of purple, orange, and deep, melancholic gray. The light fades and the stars begin to emerge, distant and cold. They are just two specks in a universe that doesn't know they exist. And yet, in this isolation, they have never felt more significant. If this is the end, she says, her voice barely a whisper, I want you to know something. I was waiting. Every single day I was waiting for you to realize that we were already home. He pulls her closer, shielding her from the biting wind. I was a coward. I thought the perfect moment was coming. I thought I had all the time in the world. I was so busy preparing for a life that I forgot to actually live it with you. They sit in the quiet darkness, the ocean singing its mournful song below them. Every wave that crashes against their sanctuary reminds them of how precarious their existence is, but fear has begun to evolve into something else, a profound, crystalline clarity. When you have nothing left to lose, you finally have the freedom to be truly yourself. They aren't just surviving, they are waking up from a long, artificial sleep. The night stretches on, infinite and deep. They talk about everything, their childhood fears, the dreams they're too embarrassed to admit to others, the small, silly things that make them laugh. They talk until their voices are hoarse, building a fortress of words to keep the encroaching darkness at bay. They are creating a world within a world, a space where only they exist. As the first light of dawn begins to paint the edges of the horizon, there is a shift in the atmosphere. The desperation is still there, but it is tempered by a strange, quiet peace. They don't know if a ship will pass or if a rescue plane will spot them. They don't even know if they will survive the next few hours. But they know one thing for certain. They have finally, truly found each other. "Look," she says, pointing towards a faint speck in the distance. He squints, his heart hammering against his ribs. It's just a shadow, a trick of the light, or perhaps it's a sign. Whether it's a rescue vessel or just another wave, it doesn't matter as much anymore. They have already been saved, not by a boat, not by a captain, but by the realization that they were never really lost to begin with. This is the beauty of their tragedy. Sometimes, the universe has to strip away everything, your plans, your security, your distractions, to bring you back to the essence of who you are and who you love. They are no longer the people who left the shore that morning. They are something new, something forged in the fire of fear and cooled in the depths of the ocean. Whatever happens next, their story is etched into the very core of this moment. They have lived more in these few hours on this desolate rock than they did in the years they spent pretending. They hold hands, watching the sun rise over the water. The light is blinding, beautiful, and absolute. They aren't waiting for a miracle anymore. They are living in one. This story has not ended. This is just the beginning of a love that remained alive in the deepest part of the ocean. Because when everything is lost, that is when the real story begins.